Something on the internet that's too good to be true? Say it isn't so. Predatory content is on the rise and has been for quite a while. We need to talk about those dubious promises that you can easily make passive income on Etsy, whether or not that's actually possible, and my thoughts as a full-time, non-passive Etsy seller and Etsy coach of sorts. I'm mostly referring to those YouTube videos with titles like, I made $100,000 selling digital downloads on Etsy. The $5,000 a month secret to passive income on Etsy. The product that made me $12,000 on Etsy. What you need to know first from somebody that makes videos in the same realm, videos with specific numbers in the title and over-the-top, inflammatory, exaggerated thumbnails get more clicks than videos that don't have those things. To ignore that is bad for business on the part of people making the videos or who is responsible for making the thumbnails. Some of us don't like it either, but you gotta do what you gotta do. Especially if you have money on the line. The usual ad revenue from YouTube is one thing, and just to let you in on a little insider information, I'm not going to get into explaining exactly how YouTube ads work, but in summary, you are paid per 1,000 views, and how much money that is depends on mostly your niche, so the kind of videos you post. So there's different genres like business, gaming, tech, lifestyle, a bunch of different ones that are just general categories. This is going to vary from channel to channel, but overall, videos in the niche that loosely relates to making money online have by far, like multiple times the amount of ad revenue as other niches. So yeah. For most YouTubers, the big money is going to be in their description box. Whether that's through affiliate links or products, courses, memberships, stuff like that. When I was researching for this video, I actually did not go in and watch more of these videos myself just to ruin my feed, but when I searched for these kind of videos on YouTube, you can see a little snippet of their description, and the majority of the videos had a link to a course at the very top of the description box, so it was very obvious. So this whole concept will be referred to as a sales funnel if we're getting like technical business terms. So YouTubers will get you to click on the video with something like kind of inflammatory, but it kind of has to be relevant because that would be clickbait and that's not allowed anymore. Then they'll give you a little crumb, just a little tiny piece of what they know, and then they'll say, oh, the rest of it, you gotta sign up for my mailing list, or you gotta sign up for this course, or become a member of my channel. And I can't knock anybody for this on the surface, right? I do it myself. I have a mailing list. I don't have a course at the moment. You're gonna see a lot of YouTubers kind of doing the same thing. Even if it's not a course, they might send you to their affiliate links. If you're watching like a makeup video, they'll link you to the products they use so they can get a little bit of extra money from that. And it's a proven concept that works. As long as you have already gained and continue to maintain the trust of your subscribers. And if you're actually giving a lot of value up front before you ever even ask anybody to open their wallet. But here's when this becomes a problem. These videos seem to promise X dollar amount of income or the ever elusive financial freedom. And that's usually going to be through selling digital downloads or print on demand. And this video is focusing on Etsy specifically because that's what my channel is about, but my God, if you ever step outside of the Etsy bubble, it's like diving into shark-infested waters. The drop shipping and FBA or fulfilled by Amazon gurus are even worse. I haven't seen as much of them recently, thankfully, but some of the FBA people, they charge tens of thousands of dollars for a course. If you don't know what I'm talking about, good, keep it that way, stay over here in the kiddie pool. I'm not even going to allege that these supposed income reports are fabricated somehow, because they will never specifically say you will make X amount of money, but what they're saying between the lines is that if I made this amount of money, then you can too. So maybe that person did make $100,000. Was that this month? This year? Over the last 2 or 3 years? Was that gross income or was it after expenses? There must be a shred of truth in it, but just a shred. But they're not going to say that in the video. No. They're going to give you just a little crumb dangling like a carrot and lead you to their course. The little crumb is so small, you see it and then you go, Digital products. Low startup cost. Quit my day job. Sounds good to me. Advice for starting a business, period, whether that's on Etsy or elsewhere, is not a one-size-fits-all transcript. And trying to make it be that way has negative consequences to viewers. Just like, for example, a medical doctor that makes YouTube videos can't give specific medical advice to their audience because they don't know who is watching, or if they take any other kind of medications, or if they have any other medical history. And lawyers can't give specific legal advice. Financial or investment channels can't give specific investment advice. If you'll notice, most of them speak very vaguely, very generally about general concepts, not you should invest in XYZ stock because it's going to do this, because they don't know. It is actually quite difficult to try to discuss certain topics on YouTube because most things in life are nuanced and have a lot of considerations for the individual that you cannot do in this format. That's actually why I decided a while back to stop posting Etsy advice on TikTok, because there was even less room for nuance. And that's also why I chose, when I first started this channel, to offer Etsy shop reviews instead of doing a course right off the bat, because it was a lot more personal and I could take into consideration the actual individual that was running the Etsy shop instead of just general advice on things, or risking giving something too specific that's not going to work for everybody. So when somebody comes on here and is touting this very attractive dollar amount with a seemingly low effort, low risk investment, of course people are going to be interested, if not for sheer curiosity, then out of desperation. If there's one thing you can count on in life besides death and taxes, it's going to be somebody taking advantage of those in need. Now, according to economists, as of April 2023, I'm filming this in May, haven't heard anything recently, I'll let you know. As of the time I'm filming this though, the United States is not officially in a recession yet. But inflation is, well, inflating, and wages are not. And when you couple that with lack of paid parental leave or sick leave, the astronomical costs of childcare and healthcare, the overwhelming amount of people who have been disabled by COVID, and many, many, many more factors that I could list on and on and on, it's safe to say that quite a lot of people are desperate for either a side hustle, if not a new career entirely. Now for the elephant in the room. What even is passive income? Well, it turns out it's not exactly what these videos make it seem to be. According to the IRS, passive income is income from a business in which the taxpayer does not materially participate. For tax purposes, the exact kinds of income that would be considered passive are a bit complicated for this discussion in particular, but as it is described on the website Investopedia, quote, passive income has been a term used relatively loosely in recent years. Colloquially, it has been used to define money being earned regularly with little or no effort on the part of the person receiving it, end quote. Loose indeed. Even with that loose definition, it is my observation-based opinion that no Etsy shop would be considered passive, especially for the vast majority of people trying it. The two main methods or business models, as I will refer to them from here on, are digital products and print on demand. Digital products are things that you would create on a computer and then the customer would purchase them and download them to their computer. There is no exchange of physical product, no shipping or anything. So those would be things like PDF files of planner pages or printable stickers, printable decor, or even files that other creatives could use, like for a Cricut or embroidery machine. And print on demand is where you would create a design and then upload it to a third-party website, usually Printify or Printful are the most popular, then they would take your design and print it on a t-shirt, coffee mugs, tote bags, whatever else, and ship it directly to your customer. While those business models do require less physical work because there's no physical product or storage space or shipping involved, they do require much more time and effort on the back end. Don't get me wrong, I am absolutely not saying that these business models will never be successful, because they can be, but will they be successful for you specifically? I can't say for certain, but chances are probably not. You see, the perpetuation of these kinds of videos relies on a concept called survivorship bias. You only see videos on your recommendation feed from people who have been successful at this, at least seemingly so. They want you to think that they are successful at it, but have you seen any from somebody who has not been successful at it? No. People in the second group are not flocking to YouTube to make their own videos about how this did not work for them or how their shop isn't getting sales. They're coming to my channel and others like mine and asking why and looking for any kind of solution because they were burned by another creator and their dubious promises. Which, I don't mind. I mean, whether that is or is not why you're here in the first place, thanks for being here. We like learning things. Honestly, I'm sure this happens to other Etsy gurus as well, but sometimes it feels like a losing battle. No amount of me giving advice or all of the knowledge I could share everything there is to know, even stuff that I don't know yet about running an Etsy shop. That's not going to undo the, let's call it what it is, that's not going to undo the harm that has been done. Even if the stars are aligned, you have great products, amazing photos, all that good stuff that you're supposed to have, it can still take years to get traction on Etsy. Not years of waiting around. Years of making new products and listings, trying things out to see what works, learning more about SEO, promoting your shop on social media, building your brand, getting repeat customers. Etsy is simply not a platform where you can set it and forget it. Even if you spend all of that time getting enough traction and finally cross over into the promised land of having enough sales to live on, you can't just stop. There will always be messages to respond to, new products to add, or skills to learn so you can make better products.
Well, so-and-so says they don't touch their shop and they still get X amount of sales every month.
Okay, good for them, but still, survivorship bias. Of all of the shops I've reviewed, all of these shop owners that I have talked to, including other Etsy gurus who have it figured out, so to speak, none of them are going to say that it is passive. And there's so much more to it than just having to respond to messages and, continually make new products. But those videos on how to do this, how to make passive income on Etsy, make it sound so simple, like you just put some words on a shirt and slap it on there and you'll be making thousands. Now, I will never say that Etsy is too saturated in general, but you will have lots of competition for things like digital downloads and print-on-demand products if you're not willing to think outside the box. Lord knows we don't need any more Dog Mom t-shirts or printable planner templates that are exactly the same over and over again. And with print on demand in particular, your profit margins are going to be very low. So you'll have to sell significantly more than you probably think you will. And I have seen quite a few print on demand shops that are actually losing money because they just jumped in and didn't really have an understanding of how to price their products and how the fees and shipping and everything works. So what can you do? If you've already started, my generalized suggestion would be to evaluate where you're at. This whole thing is not like an outright scam. Like if you were in a pyramid scheme or something, I would tell you straight up to leave, but that's not really the case here. So don't make any rash decisions because of me or anybody else on YouTube, but consider if you truly do want to figure it out and learn what you need to learn and work on it as much as you need to, but also know that it's okay to quit or take a step back if you feel like that is the best option for you. Only you know your limits and what you're willing and able to do. If you haven't started yet but you are considering it, take some more time to prepare and learn about running an Etsy shop. That was a mistake I made when I first opened my shop years and years ago. I didn't really know how it worked, and thankfully there is a lot more good information out there now than there was 10 years ago. In general, when you learn about Etsy or anything else on the internet, really, be careful. Ask yourself, who is this information coming from? Do they have experience? Remember, the only qualifications you need to make YouTube videos are a camera and an internet connection. That's it. Some people are actually experts, and some people are just sharing their experiences and not really trying to be experts. And then some people just straight up lie and exaggerate for views. How I personally navigate this and try to figure out the bullcrap from the actual information, when I find a new channel, I'll watch several of their videos and then read the comments. Generally, not always, but generally the comments are gonna know what's up. And the creator having a course or something does not automatically mean that they're slimy, but see how much information they're giving away for free. If it's barely any and most of the video is just an ad for themselves, then that's a bad sign. Ultimately, this is all up to you. As I mentioned earlier, I cannot give specific advice because I don't know everybody's situation. Even if you leave a comment or email me your specific situation, I still it's not really good for me to give you advice on something like, should you quit or not, you know? Like, don't put that on me, please. What you can do is leave a comment if you have kind of like fallen into this. Again, I don't want to say it's a trap or a scam, but misleading at best. If you've been misled by this kind of information, then let us know in the comments. If this is the first time you're watching one of my videos, welcome, and stick around if you've also been personally victimized by those other YouTube channels. I will see you in the next one. Goodbye. And it's a proven concept that works. Proven concept that works. 20 million of the white rappers emerge. No matter how many fish in the sea would be so empty without me.